Ladies and gentlemen, let us settle one truth before we go any further. No man, no woman, no being on this earth has ever reached greatness without the iron will to be consistent. Not talent, not luck, not even intelligence. These things may start the race, but they do not finish it. What finishes the race, what wins the prize is consistency, daily effort, relentless persistence, ruthless discipline. You must force yourself to be consistent. You will not always feel like rising early. You will not always feel like showing up. You will not always feel like grinding when others are relaxing. But mark this down, how you feel is irrelevant to how you succeed. If you bow to emotion, you will serve mediocrity. If you bow to excuses, you will inherit regret. Your goals do not care how tired you are. Your dreams do not adjust to your laziness. They wait for your action, not your approval. Consistency is not some grand miracle. It is not the glory of the finish line. It is the grit of the starting line, repeated every single day. It is not sexy. It is not celebrated, but it is the foundation of all mastery. When you act daily in the direction of your goals, whether you feel like it or not, you send a signal to the world that you are serious, you are committed, you are dangerous. Success, my friends, is never complicated. It is only inconvenient. It demands more than your comfortable giving, and that is why most fail, not because they cannot, but because they will not. So if you truly want to change your life, don't just get excited. Get disciplined. Don't just start. Persist. Build a habit so strong that even your excuses fear it. And here is the truth you must tattoo onto your soul. Absolutely, that line is a powerful concept in itself. Here's a deeper breakdown and an extended version of it in the style of a speaker like Napoleon Hill, should you want to expand it or open a speech with impact. Consistency is the bridge between desire and achievement. Desire, by itself, is only the spark it ignites the vision, but without consistent action, that spark fades into smoke. It is consistency, daily, disciplined effort, that lays one stone upon another until the bridge to success is finally built. You may dream of greatness, but only through unwavering, repeated action will that dream take form. Consistency is the invisible force that transforms imagination into manifestation and ambition into accomplishment. No man rises by chance, only by deliberate daily effort. Success is not an accident. It does not come to the idle or the indifferent. The heights of achievement are not reached in a moment of fortune, but by hours, days, and years of focused labor. A man may stumble upon an opportunity, but only the prepared, only the consistent, only the disciplined will seize it and multiply it. Fortune may knock, but effort must answer. If you do not act with intention every single day, you leave your life. Fate is a poor architect of greatness. Rise on purpose, work on purpose, win on purpose. That is the only way the mountain moves. Discipline begins where motivation ends. Motivation is a spark. It comes and goes with mood, with energy, with inspiration. It is fleeting, emotional, and unreliable, but discipline is the fire that stays lit when the wind blows, when the excitement wears off, when the applause stops, when no one is watching. That is where discipline takes over. It is what wakes you up when the bed is warm. It is what pushes you forward when comfort begs you to quit. It is the silent engine behind every champion, every leader, every master of craft. You will not always feel like it. That's the truth, but if you rely on how you feel, you will fail. If you live by how you choose, you will win. Discipline is the difference between wishing and becoming. Great empires are not built in a day. They are forged one action at a time. The towering achievements you admire, the fortunes, the reputations, the legacies, they did not rise from bursts of effort, but from compounded labor, from one small, often unseen, deliberate act repeated with purpose, brick by brick, thought by thought, choice by choice. Each action may seem small, even insignificant in the moment, but over time they form the walls of an empire of character, of success, of strength. The tragedy is that most give up too soon, expecting castles overnight, forgetting that the foundation is what makes anything last. So stay steady, stay consistent, because what you build in patience will stand long after what others built in haste has crumbled. Excuses are the comfort of the unsuccessful. They are the soft pillow where potential goes to sleep, the easy justification that numbs the sting of not trying, not pushing, not becoming. But remember this: an excuse is a lie wrapped in reason. It pretends to protect your pride, but in truth it robs you of your progress. Every time you say "I can't," what you really mean is "I won't." The people who rise don't have fewer problems, they have fewer excuses, they don't escape struggle, they refuse to surrender to it. Excuses feel good in the moment, but they cost you everything in the long run. So trade your excuses for action, trade your comfort for commitment, because the world rewards execution, not explanation. What you do daily shapes who you become permanently. Your habits are not just routines. They are blueprints of your future. Every thought you repeat, every action you take, every choice you make, it is carving the sculpture of your character. One stroke at a time. You don't become great overnight. You become great when you choose discipline over distraction, day after day, until excellence is no longer an act, it's who you are. Your future isn't determined by what you do once. It's determined by what you do consistently. You want to know who you'll be a year from now. Look at what you're doing today, and what you're doing without fail tomorrow, because success is never owned, it is rented, and the rent is due every single day. Success is not complicated, it is just inconvenient. The steps are simple: show up, work hard, stay focused, keep going. The formula is not hidden, the rules have not changed, but here's the truth most won't accept: success demands more than comfort allows. It will interrupt your sleep, your schedule, your excuses, and your laziness. It asks you to do the hard thing when the easy one is available, to keep going when quitting is justified, to choose growth over ease. That's why so few reach the top, not because they lack the knowledge, but because they reject the cost. The question is not whether you know what to do. The question is whether you are willing to endure the inconvenience of greatness. Because while most search for shortcuts, the successful simply show up and do the work. You are either strengthening your will or surrendering it. There is no neutral ground. Every choice you make, every time you push forward or pull back, is a vote for your strength or a vote for your weakness. Willpower is like a muscle. It grows when challenged, it dies when ignored. Each moment you resist the urge to quit, each time you choose discipline over distraction, you're forging a stronger version of yourself. But every time you give in, every time you delay, avoid, or excuse, surrender a piece of that power, you are always training something, your strength or your surrender. So the next time you feel the urge to stop, ask yourself, am I building my will or breaking it? Because who you become tomorrow is being decided by that answer today. The man who forces himself to act will soon no longer need force. At first, discipline feels like a burden. You drag yourself to the task, you resist, you struggle, but with every act of will, you're not just doing the work, you're rewiring who you are. What was once effort becomes instinct. What once took force becomes your normal. Just as the body adapts to resistance in training, the mind adapts to resistance in discipline. Soon, you no longer fight with yourself to show up. You expect it. You no longer argue with the alarm. You answer it. This is how habits are born, not through comfort, but through commitment. And when action becomes identity, you are no longer dependent on motivation. You are driven by momentum. Force is only needed in the beginning. After that, you become the force. The power to persist is the power to prosper. Success is not for the swiftest or the strongest. It is for the one who refuses to quit. Every setback is a test of your resolve. Every failure is a stepping stone, not a dead end. Prosperity comes to those who endure, who rise after every fall, and who keep moving forward when others stop. Persistence is the quiet force behind every victory, the unseen hand that guides effort through obstacles. Without persistence, talent is wasted. Without persistence, opportunity slips away. But with persistence, even the impossible bends to your will. So when the road gets tough, remember, the one who persists is the one who prospers. Hold fast, keep going. Your breakthrough is closer than you think. Now you have before you the unshakable truth. Consistency is the master key to all success. It demands you force yourself, beyond comfort, beyond doubt, beyond fleeting feelings, to act every day toward your goals. You will face resistance. You will feel weariness. You will want to quit. But remember, the man who forces himself to act today builds the habit that no force can break tomorrow. Do not wait for motivation to find you. Do not hope for the perfect moment. Create your moment. Command your will. Show up again and again until your consistency becomes your identity, because the world rewards the relentless, the disciplined, the unwavering. Go forward now, not as a dreamer, but as a doer, not as one who wishes, but as one who acts, not as someone who hopes, but as one who conquers. Force yourself to be consistent, and you will become unstoppable. Thank you.